more has happened than Russia, Ukraine in that declaration, as Tara was pointing out. Dr. Kumar?
No, I think it's remarkable what these guys have done. I would say that they've ticked all the boxes. I thought they would leave one or two boxes unticked. One was Ukraine. The other is taking advantage of the presence of these leaders to do what the Prime Minister has done with Joe Biden yesterday on some of the defense deals, and today in this grouping with you, with Gulf and with the EU, and then with Saudi Arabia and others. I think they've also ticked some of the important bilateral aspects of what India really is looking for in terms of infrastructure, in terms of trade, etc. So all in all, I would say remarkable. I don't want to spend too much time because you've got other guests, but some of the things that this declaration has done, I think
Give me yours, even, even some of the things.
No, I said some of the things that the declaration does, even Amitabh Kant, despite his tendency to exaggerate at times, he is spot on today because the outcomes have been very specific, frankly. If you look at the high principle, the Deccan high principles for agriculture, the principles for life, the principles for a biofuel alliance, the principles for green hydrogen. So the devil is in the details, Barka, frankly. One has to pour through the document. But I think on the whole, nothing has been left to chance. And I think it is an absolutely remarkable achievement by the Indian presidency.
Okay, we have a couple of minutes left. Let me get General Dua in. What for you is the standout moment of today? General Dua?
I think to give one standout moment would be an oversimplification of an answer. I mean, there are so many things. I think the day started off with inclusion of African Union in such a rapid speed. We all knew that it will happen, but no one expected that it will happen right there. He moved into the chair. We spoke about the Russia-Ukraine war, but or the inclusion of, I mean, the inclusivity, the biofuel alliance. But this, to me, is essentially an economic grouping, G20, now G21, perhaps. And this corridor that we're talking about, India, Middle East, European corridor that President Biden just spoke about, I think this is one of the great game changers. We perhaps do not expect this to come about, and this has actually been worked out in a very short time frame. And I think this is going to be a great moment for the economic surge as G20 is meant to be.
And also countering China. General Kulkarni, last thoughts?
One-liner which I can say that Sherpa and his team have succeeded in putting Bharat scale Everest. I think that could be better. It's fantastic. It's just like scaling Everest, and that is what the feeling today is. And I think they've done a wonderful job. We could be asking for more. Thank you, Barka.
That's a good one-liner, sharp and succinct. Tobias, this is all from the prism of many Indians and many Indian diplomats and military veterans. You're not Indian. You're looking at this from the outside. What does it look like to you?
Yeah, let me just add some points about what I expect, kind of like about the future, because we're almost kind of past this summit now, and I guess the hard work probably really begins now because there are 84 or 85 paragraphs involved in this declaration, and we see that with Brazil and South Africa being the next hosts of the G20, we now have a summit declaration that covers a lot of ground, that covers a lot of topics, but it will be up to the next years to see whether all of these points can be implemented. Another important thing, I guess, is, and that's also interesting about the timing, we saw 2 hours ago that the declaration was released, and now after the declaration text is released, countries come together to form a geoeconomic anti-China group, which also adds a bit skepticism towards, or leads me to thinking, how much will the G20 become a stage in the future for different geoeconomic platforms to compete with each other, and how much will states actually continue to cooperate if they know that states are now also increasingly try to pose counter projects geoeconomically at the
That's a very interesting question. And